Texas Rangers fell earlier this afternoon to the Detroit Tigers 4-2. They'll continue that series tomorrow afternoon. 12:10 first pitch. You can catch it over on San Antonio's ESPN 1250 tomorrow morning starting at 11:30. The Astros continue their series with the Braves, and they called up former first-round pick and Alamo Heights pitcher Forrest Whitley. First pitch set for 7:10.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Oh, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Appreciate everybody for dropping through this afternoon. However you may be listening, whether that's on 94.1 FM, to which I hear there are some issues. We are trying to sort those out. sasportstar.com via the Best Bail Bonds audio player. That's at sasportstar.com. Just click listen live. You'll get us. Or you can be one of the many that join us on our YouTube page. Just go to YouTube. A lot of the ways I listen to the show, whether it's in the gym, at the apartment, sometimes even in the car, just because it's easiest to continue it rolling to how I'm listening from the apartment to the car. Throw it on my YouTube on my phone. I'm listening. It's always going on. Walk into the car automatically Bluetooths in, and it's already listening to where I left off. Whether it's the morning huddle, usually not the blitz, because, I'm working the blitz. That is right. Rudolph Gonzalez. Kawhi gets the final Olympic spot, joining LeBron and Steph and Tatum as they look to redeem a horrible, horrible showing. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, whether it's sasportstar.com 941 or on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all social media, X, I should say, instead of Twitter. I am at I Am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Lots to get into today. Stephen Jones was on 105.3 The Fan. Lots to talk about when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Jason Minix will be joining me coming up in a little bit to talk about that, the NBA playoffs, the play-in starting tonight. What should happen, whether the Lakers should actually be giving it a go. And exit interviews happened yesterday. We touched a little bit on the Wemby stuff, but at the same time, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and Keldon Johnson all spoke. And the more that I hear from them, the more I think the off-season plan becomes a little bit clearer to me. And I'm not sure anybody's going to like it. We'll get into that coming up at 6:30. But Stephen Jones, it's been a while since we heard from anybody with inside the Cowboys. We got the brief appearance of Dak Prescott at that children's event. And before that, we got Stephen at the owners' meetings, and Jerry and John Fossil and Mike McCarthy. And before that, it was Jerry's bus at the Combine. And before that, it was the Senior Bowl. The Cowboys have been very, very on the low when it comes to how they're going about this offseason. And rightfully so. I mean, they made a comment, Jerry Jones did, talking about going all in, even though I tried to tell everybody, he said it. as it pertains to our guys, we're all in. And then he did Jerry things where he kept talking and mumbling and eventually talked himself into a corner. And now they've spent the entire off season, I don't want to say walking it back, but justifying their all in comments. And Stephen Jones was asked on 105.3 The Fan if he regrets Jerry's comments about the Cowboys being all in.
No.
No? Okay.
I think if you're not all in this league, you're all out. And I don't know of any of the 32 who aren't all in. And, everybody can have their own definition of what that means, but I've never not known us to be all in, nor have I known anybody we compete against not to be all in. It's, they have different strategies as to what that means, but at the end of the day, if you're not really all in trying to figure out how to put together a championship football team, then you shouldn't be in this league.
And look, the Cowboys are strapped being up against the cap, and I understand that. And there's only one way to be able to alleviate that doesn't hurt them more in the future. There's a reason that teams like the Broncos and Saints are always in the cap hell that they're in, because they keep restructuring, kicking money down the road, inflating those numbers, and that bill usually comes due in horrible, horrible ways at the end of those contracts. So I understand it. They've got to get those deals done with Dak, maybe CD, and Micah. And Jason Minix, and I can't wait to talk to him about it here coming up in a little bit, made a great point. Maybe receiver's about to be the new running back. It's just hard to believe that the Cowboys are ahead of the curve on something like that. But they've done it once before when it came to Amari Cooper, and it worked out. And Peter Schrager released a mock draft today in which not what he thinks is going to happen, what he's hearing from around the league. And at 24, he had the Dallas Cowboys taking Xavier Worthy. Fastest man in the combine. And even if it's not to replace CD, it's a smart move, at least in replacing Brandon Cooks, because he is also at the end of his contract. So whether it's CD, whether it's Brandon Cooks, there is going to be a loss at receiver at some point for the Cowboys next year. Because I don't think you want to pay Brandon Cooks what he thinks he deserves, which is, according to his previous contracts, in the $18 to $20 million range, which is about the going rate of a number 2 receiver. Devontae Smith just got 25 from Philadelphia. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Cowboys do and whether they can play this thing out or not. I also found it very, very interesting, their comments regarding offensive line. They need to target that in the draft, especially early.
Well, versatility is a huge thing, and that's what Tyler Smith brings to the table. The fact that he can swing out there, and if we feel like there's a better fit at guard or center, and knowing that we have a player like TJ Bass there, then we can look at it. As I said, we like Waletzko. He's had a couple of things injury-wise, and we hadn't necessarily needed him, and same goes for Awesome Richards. We feel like we got some answers there at tackle. I think the bigger thing is we've got a young player in Hoffman there at center, but, there's some guys that we may give a chance to snap the ball. It's not out of the question that TJ Bass gets reps at the center position. So all these things will work into our strategy as we move forward.
And you hear that, and he's brought up a bunch of names earlier in that interview, whether it was Awesome Richards, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, who they feel comfortable with, Matt Waletzko. And remember, after his first year in 2020 as an undrafted free agent, when he was thrust into action Terrence Steele was awful that year for the Dallas Cowboys, but there were a ton of injuries along the offensive line. And really the only piece that was stable that year, because that was also the year that Travis Frederick retired, was Zach Martin. Now, I do believe that much this next year, they kept telling us about, oh, Terrence Steele's taking a big jump. Terrence Steele's this, Terrence Steele's that. I don't know if it's Awesome Richards or Matt Waletzko or TJ Bass. Definitely probably Brock Hoffman, because I've seen him working with the starters on Instagram, doing drills and with their coaches this offseason, not the coaches at the Cowboys, but their offseason coaches. And he's working with the starters to kind of synchronize their steps. I do believe I'm not going to guarantee it, but I have a really good feeling that Brock Hoffman will be the starting center for the Dallas Cowboys next season. It wouldn't shock me, as much as I've heard about Waletzko, that they really, really like him. And he might be the answer at left tackle. And that could fix their entire offensive line, at least on the starting side of things, to where they don't feel as pressured to go offensive tackle or interior offensive lineman like Jackson Powers Johnson as early as a lot of pundits believe they have to go there. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. More coming up on this and the San Antonio Spurs, what their future plans could be. But next, we have got Jason Minix, co-host of The Blitz, coming up to discuss more of this and the NBA playoffs. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we look back to the first play-ins. We get more tonight, and also the Spurs draft history. Looks like a 5-pick all the way through an 8. We'll look at the history of the Spurs in that order.
Plus, the NFL draft begins next Thursday night. Who are the Dallas Cowboys going to take in the first round? Who are the Houston Texans going to take when it's all said and done? I might convince Rob to do a mock draft. You don't want to miss it. The Morning Huddle starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com. I'm overpaying for cars because I think they're going to go up even higher from where they are right now. We'll pay off your payoff. We'll pick your stuff up. We'll quote you quick and easy at GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer. Go there right now, and if I don't beat a CarMax offer, I'll send you a check for $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on.
Never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
90 Proof Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot to catch a game and satisfy your cravings. Kitchen's open till midnight every day, serving up delicious bites to fuel your hunger. Plus daily drink specials. Make every night a winning night at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Joining me now via the Buyers Barricades guest line, co-host of The Blitz, Jason Minix, joining me as we get ready for the NFL draft coming up in just over 9 days from now. And
yeah.
I mean, we're almost exactly to the hour, 9 days away from the NFL draft now. And I look at it, and Peter Schrager dropped a mock, and he doesn't do it often, but the thing about it is he prefaces it with, this isn't what I feel, this is what I'm hearing. And I hear or see the fact that he has the Cowboys taking Xavier Worthy at number 24 overall. And then I hear your take today on the Blitz about, does this mean that the Cowboys, and something they've done previously, as Shereen Williams indicated, which if you go check it out, whether it is on our YouTube page at SA Sports Star, you can listen to the entire show there, or in the AA Best Bail Bonds audio vault. Could this be the Cowboys looking at the market of receiver, how much it's costing versus how many good ones come through the draft and become good so quickly now, and have decided there's better ways to allocate our money than paying over $30 million to a receiver?
Well, and again, I preface all of this. I expect and want the Cowboys to take an offensive lineman. I feel that's their biggest need, and there's a lot of really good 10-year starter type offensive linemen that will be available when the Cowboys pick at number 24. I see that from Schrager, and all right, it's a little different. But how do I make that make sense? What is he hearing that Peter Schrager would put that in his draft? And the one thing that would make sense to me is we've had a lot of conversations of how do you pay Dak, how do you pay CD, how do you pay Micah Parsons, and still put together a championship caliber team with only so much money to go around. If you aren't going to pay CD Lamb that kind of money, like the running backs, the wide receiver market has exploded. That would make sense to me. That's the only way it makes sense to me if you're taking a wide receiver in the first round, is if you don't plan on having CD Lamb around for a long time. Now, mind you, he's under contract next year for $17 million. The Cowboys could also use the franchise tag on him, although the franchise tag for the wide receiver in 2 years is going to be ridiculous when you're averaging what those top salaries are. So it's the only way it makes sense, but you do wonder, with the amount of talented wide receivers that are available, do you have to pay one, no matter how good they are, that kind of money, or can you just constantly draft young wide receivers and not ever really pay one what market value is going to dictate? Because, for years it was the running backs, and now running backs don't get paid like they used to. And you wonder if wide receivers are going to end up falling into that same boat, into what Shereen Williams was telling us a couple of years ago. The Cowboys didn't like the idea of paying Amari Cooper $20 million. Now, if we go back into real time, at the time, we all thought, well, I'm not paying Amari Cooper $20 million, although you probably could have got more than a fifth-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christian Kirk signed that deal with Jacksonville and reset the wide receiver market, and that made Amari Cooper at $20 million seem like a bargain. But the day they did that trade, we all thought, man, that was a pretty smart move on the Cowboys to not pay a receiver $20 million, although they should have got more than a fifth-round pick in return.
He is Jason Minix, and you say make it make sense, and go with me here in terms of making it make sense outside of what you just laid out. They are also going into the final year with Brandon Cooks. And I say that because we have talked about this too, and you have on the Blitz. We remember Terrence Steele being horrible when forced into action as an undrafted rookie free agent his rookie year in 2020, when they had a mash of unit of injuries up on that offensive line. And that next offseason, we kept hearing them talking up Terrence Steele. And we kept saying, I saw him last year. I don't need to see anymore. And then Terrence Steele ended up being really good up until the injury the year before, and then coming off the injury this year. You hope he rebounds being a full year removed from that injury. They have been talking up Matt Waletzko and Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass a lot over the past season and this offseason. And even Asim Richards, and I hate to say this to you, Josh Ball, because I know your feelings on him, but they have been talking up a lot of those guys that have been behind everyone else on the offensive line. Could they feel so comfortable the way they did with Terrence Steele that they feel their starters on the offensive line are set? Because I do expect Brock Hoffman to be the starting center. I've seen him working with the guys this offseason, training, getting the footwork right. He feels like he's going to be starting unless they go and draft a Jackson Powers Johnson. Could they feel like they're set at offensive line and in receiver without maybe a Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, mixed bag answer. Are they set? No. Are they capable of moving forward with what they have? Probably. I would rather have a JPJ, but we even heard Stephen Jones today say, yeah, we're looking at Brock Hoffman, but TJ Bass might get some reps at center. Stephen, I remember last year we were sitting in Oxnard talking with Stephen Jones, Joe Reinagel and I, and they were talking up Matt Waletzko, hoping he could get healthy. I think they do have high hopes for Matt Waletzko. I know they have high hopes for TJ. Josh Ball, I have no hope for him, but maybe. But, when you look at Awesome Richards and you go, okay, are they serviceable? And it's kind of the chicken or the egg. All right, let's not get a 10-year starter in the first round at offensive line and take a speedy wide receiver. And I feel like it's the Al Davis approach of the Raider days, where you want nothing but fast wide receivers. But if you don't have an offensive line that can give Dak Prescott time to let Xavier Worthy, no matter how fast he is, get down the field, what good does that do you? So you have to have more than a doable offensive line. Are they comfortable? I mean, maybe. I mean, their actions speak louder than their words. And there's been some offensive linemen, veteran guys, that have signed this year to reasonable contracts. So maybe they are feeling that comfortable in their philosophy of draft and develop. And whether we agree with it or not, it really is their call. But we know the Cowboys, if they don't think that guy can play, he's going to be gone. We've seen enough of that. If they wanted to keep Tyler Biadasz, they could have kept Tyler Biadasz. They chose not to. They chose not to re-sign Tyron Smith. You don't let Tyron Smith walk for what they did if you didn't feel like those guys in the room there could replace them, not knowing what you're going to get, because there is that risk of we can draft a guy with hopes that he is going to be an immediate impact guy, but if it takes him a year or two to develop, then you're screwed. So you have to feel good with what you have in the building to a degree. It's the Cowboys, and it's
That is Jason Minix of the Blitz. Join him weekdays along with Joe Reinagel from 2 to 6, leading into Extra Innings with Pleasure. It's very interesting when you look at how the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys has kind of played out. And I think a lot of fear in their inactivity is justified in a sense. But also, I do believe that the Cowboys do place value in their own guys. And the fact that they place that value in their own guys gives them the confidence that they seemingly have this offseason. Now, one last thing, Jason. We heard from Jeff Darlington today the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is starting contract negotiations, and they're getting intensified here as we get into the draft. What level of concern does that give you as it pertains to Dak Prescott and his contract negotiation?
none. I mean, honestly, none.
That's fair.
Dak Prescott's he's gonna reset the market when he decides he wants to get a deal done. And I do think a lot of this is in Dak's court at this point. You know, if Dak's agent were to call and say, hey, let's get this done, we all know what the numbers are going to be. It's a matter of how it's going to be structured. The Cowboys know what that number is going to be. They've been budgeting for it, or at least they have a good ballpark. They're going to try to get a little bit cheaper. Dak's going to try to get a little bit more. Deadlines make deals, and that's the way Dallas does it. You know, Tua's going to reset the market because he's next. I know there are people out there that don't like that, but that's just the nature of the way it is done. And, you know, if it's going to cost them more, and I think the Cowboys are probably prepared for that. And, you know, even though Dak has no playoff success, he was second in MVP voting. He did have a hell of a regular season.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 3 great regular seasons, and you have to have great regular seasons to give yourself a chance to judged on postseason success. And, you know, and Dak has had 0 postseason success. Playoff Prescott is not a good term. But when it comes to players getting paid, you've got to be selfish when you're the one sitting at that negotiating table. And Dak Prescott is going to do exactly that. He's going to take every nickel that he can from Jerry Jones.
And lastly, we got the play-in tournament starting tonight. Lakers, Kings, Warriors, Pelicans. I mean, the first game is Lakers Pelicans, and health is gonna have a lot to do with that. Do you see the Lakers just locking themselves into their playoff position tonight?
You know, it's the Lakers and it's playoff time. It's funny. I don't trust the Pelicans, and I know there's all the talk out there that the Lakers should lose this one so they could try to avoid playing Denver. With no Anthony Davis, though, that could be a bit of a game changer if his back is really that jacked and he can't go. But it's the Lakers in the postseason, and I trust LeBron in the playoffs. I'm looking very much forward to the late game tonight, 9 o'clock on TNT between Golden State and Sacramento, because I really like what Sacramento's done, but I expected so much more out of that team after this year that I worry that Mike Brown might be out again if they lose tonight to a Golden State team. And again, it's Steve Kerr, it's Steph Curry, it's Draymond Green, it's the postseason. I expect Draymond Green to not get himself thrown out, get a crazy tech, and play playoff basketball. I expect Golden State to win that game tonight.
And as it comes down to the playoffs, who do you expect to meet up in the finals? Because before this thing gets underway, I don't expect to talk to you again until probably sometime next week.
Well, I mean, that's a great question. I really like Denver to repeat, but I really like Phoenix. And, from a personal standpoint, my cousin who passed away from cancer earlier this year is a big Phoenix Suns fan. I'd love for them to win one. I was hoping they would do it in recent years so he could be alive when it happens. I really like Phoenix and what they've done, but man, I don't really have a lot of confidence in my pick, but that was my preseason pick. So I'll stick with it until they're eliminated. On the East side, and you talk about trusting teams. I don't know who I trust in the East. It's who do I trust less? I mean, Doc Rivers and whatever he's done in Milwaukee hasn't worked. I like New York. I don't trust them. I like Boston. I don't trust them. Do I have to make a pick right now?
What's the least of all evils?
Well, and again, who do I trust? I think Boston could get it done. I'd like them to I'll say Boston, but a shaky. And of course, it's Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. What are they going to do? Because that's a team that turns it on during the playoffs. It's bizarre, but when I look at the East, man, I don't trust any of those guys, any of those teams.
That is fair enough. He is Jason Minix. Catch him and Joe Reinagle every weekday from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Jason, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Appreciate it, man.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the playoffs completely unfold. What's going to be more interesting is how the Spurs off-season unfolds. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of Spurs fans are going to like it. I'll let you know what I know, or at least what I've heard from what's been said in the exit interviews. That's coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft. Live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
With Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,000 off select laundry appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances. And with convenient shopping in-store and online, you can get new appliances with smart, intuitive features any way you want. Like a new LG wash combo all-in-one that can run a full load in under 2 hours. Right now, get $1,000 off select laundry appliances with Spring Black Friday savings in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you're tired of achy joints, your joint pain keeping you from doing what you love, then you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your own body's power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup. Dr. Scheinkup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call now to learn more about some exciting options in this revolutionary approach to get you long-term relief with no downtime. So what are you waiting for? Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Looking for the ultimate hangout spot? Swing by 90 Proof Bar and Grill, where the kitchen stays fired up till midnight, serving up all your game day favorites with daily drink specials. 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch. Food, cold drinks, and live sports.
Are you ready to party with a purpose? Taste of the Northside is Thursday, April 18th at the beautiful Security Service Event Center. This elevated fiesta event for foodies includes on-site covered parking, entertainment, unlimited tastings from over 30 premier restaurants, countless curated wines and craft beers, hosted by Brighton Center, presented by HEB. Purchase tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, the largest nonprofit in San Antonio serving children with disabilities through pediatric therapy and education initiatives.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me. And thank you for Jason Menix for joining us on the Buyers Barricade guest line last segment. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales to San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Fred Villarreal, as we were talking playoffs going out of that interview, says, big playoff series for Jason Tatum. The pressure is on this year. I agree with that. The pressure is 100% on the Celtics. And we'll see if they can deal with the pressure that's going to be on them, because I think this is the best version of the Celtics with Porzingis, with Derek White, with Drew Holiday. I think they've got a really team that loaded. Fred Record says Celtics always seem to not get over the hump. Maybe this is their year. It would be awesome for Derek White to get a ring. Nuggets are good. I think the creeper team is the Clippers. That wouldn't shock me either. The Clippers were playing really well when they were fully healthy. But as we talk about the NBA, we talk about the San Antonio Spurs, and a lot is going into what's going to happen this offseason. How are things going to play out for the San Antonio Spurs as we get ready for next season? And in their exit interviews, Victor Wembanyama said, next season, expectations are different.
Now that it's more clear, of course, I don't want next season to stop so early. You know, I want to keep going, go to the. I mean, I would want to win every game, of course, but go to the playoffs, and just there's so many details and so many things, so many little things to do right away. You know, from the first game of the season that we're not gonna build something great by saying we want to win the championship or really go to the playoffs. It's set a new brick every day, and then we'll build the house.
The plan is to be in the playoffs, and he's not the only one that thinks things have to change next year for this team. Keldon Johnson says the goal is for them to win.
Win more games. That's going to be our next step.
How many more?
Time will tell.
Now, I found it interesting that Keldon vocally stated, even though it was obvious to the eye when you watched it, that he had to adjust to coming off the bench, but that wasn't the only thing that they had to adjust to. Devin Vassell said they had to adjust to playing with one Victor Wembanyama.
I mean, you're going to hear outside noise. That's just what it is. But it just takes a minute to get used to playing with somebody who's 7'5" and can do everything. What his spots are on the court, where to find him. I think there are a lot of times where we either got turnovers or we just weren't able to get on the ball at certain spots. You're used to throwing it up to somebody, but not that high, or just certain things that you just got to get accustomed to and used to. I think that as the season just kept going, everybody as a team, we just started finding them more in other spots and just letting them just play more free. And as you see, it's been great. So this summer, I talked to him, and I want to work with him a lot on just a 2-man game and work with him. But I think just as a team, we're all excited, and just with not a lot of players playing and the impact that he's still having and us still winning games is huge. So, I mean, there's not enough I can say about Wemby. He's coming down and hitting those crazy threes, and I could go on and on about the highlights and the blocks and everything that he's done, but we've just truly embraced him here, and we're excited for the future.
And that was very, very difficult. He talked about when it started finally to click, and of course, as we all kind of noticed, it was post All-Star break when everything really started to come together for this team. But he also talked about the end of the season. The Spurs played very well towards the end of the season. Post All-Star break, they played well, and even at the end of the season, without most of their players. I mean, they won 2 straight at the end of the year. They won 4 of 6. They were playing very, very well. They knocked the Denver Nuggets out of the 1 seed. And Vassell was talking about how that is momentum going into the next year.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I feel like we ended off the season, kind of how we wanted to get momentum going into this next season. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to work with these guys. We have a great group of guys. Our chemistry is great. I just want to turn this thing around and get some, have a really, really good season next year.
But he was not the only one talking about momentum. One Jeremy Sohan talking about the momentum for next year.
100%, 100%. Again, even the momentum we had before, the injuries, even now, the way the team's playing, physical, playing hard, playing together. I think, we're going the right way, and it's exciting times for us. I think just the energy around the organization, around us players, it's all exciting. And I think we all know, what it's just, working hard and staying consistent with that and, just doing it.
And listen, the last thing that I heard that really cemented how I feel the Spurs are going to approach this offseason were a couple of comments from Devin Vassell talking about how this is going to play out moving forward for them. And he says, trust in the front office.
I trust them. But, from when I got here, we've developed When I say developed, I mean as in me. They've helped me develop so much, and I know that they have a plan for the team. I know, we want to win. We want to get back to being a championship team. So I trust them. I trust this organization, and I'm ready for whatever comes with it. I just got to work this summer to just get better and better and better to where, whatever happens, we're just ready.
And he had a message to the fans as well.
Spurs are here. Spurs are back. That's it.
When I hear all of those sound bites combined and you listen to those interviews, it sounds like they're going to stay the course. Building brick by brick, as Wemby said, trusting the front office, as Vassell said. When it started to click, how they started to play at the end of the year, finally, together. Momentum going into next season. The message to the fans that they're back. Spurs are here. I know Spurs fans don't want to hear this. They want to spend money in free agency. They want to trade for big names. I still think there's the possibility they could bring someone in. Possibly trade, but not for a big name. Probably a lesser name, maybe a Derek White, bring him back into the fold after the Celtics paid a Drew Holiday like they did and are already paying Brown and Tatum max money, and Porzingis for that fact. But there's not going to be a massive move. There's going to be small complementary moves, maybe. But I think this team is building around the youth that it has and moving forward with it to the best of their ability. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Drew called in. Drew, welcome into Extra Innings with Pledge, my man.
I'm hearing the same things, and I've long expressed my opinion on what I think the Spurs should do, and it's not what they seem to be doing. And I just find it sad in my heart that those three guys. I know it's the modern age, and I don't get this generation of people, and there's a younger generation than I. But I don't know how you can sit there with a face and talk confidently like that when yes, the Spurs improved the last 10 games, but it was when those three guys were on the bench. Okay? You had all these people who want to think they're not non-casuals. I hear that thrown away when you criticize somebody on the internet or something. Mm-hmm. They try to label you a casual fan. So, all the non-casuals want to talk about sample sizes. Well, for Devin and for Keldon, the sample size is huge. They are who they are. Keldon, sorry, you don't fit on this team. You're not good defensively. You can't move your feet. You're not long. You're not bright. Basketball IQ. Devin, you're worldly talented, but you are injury prone. And now if you have camps and people trying to pump you up, being positive, telling you that you're the number one guy or the number two guy, you're just not. And I don't have any words for SoCan. That guy, to me, he took Mahmoud's minute. But I don't want to talk about that. I'll just sit there and wait, because I know if we run it back, we'll be a playing team or a lottery team next year, and it'll eventually take care of itself. What I want to happen will happen. But what I think that Spurs fans should be doing this summer is watch the Olympics, because this is going to be Wemby's Olympics. Wemby has been talking all year about how he wants to, his next goal, and this is our guy. We all should become Team French fanatics. Screw the old tired team that they're rolling out for the Team USA. It's old and tired. It's got LeBron, it's got Curry, it's got everybody's old ancient guys. That team ain't winning nothing. Wemby's gonna win that gold medal. It's in Paris. He's joining I think the silver medal team last year, or the last Olympics, or was it the bronze medal team?
Sure.
A loaded French FIBA team. They're going to destroy everybody unless that knucklehead SoCan, who goes out and says that nobody really cares, but he has to tell you that he wants to destroy Wemby in the Olympics. Like, you even think that you're on any kind of level to destroy Wemby at any kind of game in your head, kid. All right? That just shows where you're at and why you shouldn't be on this team next year. All right? Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I appreciate the phone call, Drew. You are welcome to call back anytime. Look, I don't expect this move to be popular with fans if this is indeed the route they decide to take. I'm only going by what I'm hearing out of the exit interviews, and even Wemby, when talking about whether he was going to be consulted again, is very different from what it sounded like his consultation was with the team just a month or two ago when he was asked about it. So I kind of expect to see him one more time, and after the 2025 draft, when everybody's circling Cooper Flag, if it doesn't work this year, I think that's the prize, and then move forward. But time will tell, as the draft lottery is about a month away. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. We'll hear the craziest thing that some of the teammates saw from Wemby coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Jason Minix here from The Blitz with the NBA playoffs here. You want to get in on the action and have fun watching the games the way I do? Make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing their pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. You create your own experience. It's a ton of fun to play. I love winning on the pick'em game, obviously. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Get to your local Twin Peaks Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score some sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, and of course, cheap shots. Freezing cold 29-degree cold beer. Of course, we expect that. And you need more? How about a snack? Twin Peaks has select apps for $2, $4, and $6. And you can always come back for the late night specials. Why would you even leave for the reverse happy hour? No one does happy hour quite like Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and all those scenic views.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. Recruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Hebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. If they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on X, Instagram, all that, at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Don't forget, go ahead and like, subscribe if you're watching on our YouTube channel. If you're not, subscribe at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can watch the show, comment along when you're not in your car or near a radio, or listening online at sasportstar.com. There is always the chance to catch the show right there. This just came across a few minutes ago, and we knew Micah Parsons was skipping voluntary workouts. Dallas Morning News reporting that he is focused on his personalized training program outside of the facility, which is why he's not at voluntary workouts, which, look, voluntary workouts are voluntary workouts. But I think when you're getting a new defensive coordinator that's going to bring a new defensive scheme, it might be semi-conducive to actually start jumping into that situation and maybe learning from your new defensive coordinator, even though he's on a 1-year deal. And look, I get it. Vets don't go most of the time. But I do think it's interesting that Will Anderson of the Houston Texans talked about the importance of voluntary workouts yesterday at their open media session.
Yeah, it means a lot. Like I said, like having the new guys come in, having some of the older vets in the league come in, it just shows what type of teammates you have and what type of people they are and how special this place is and how they view this place. Coming here with the young guys, get some work in with them, but just build those relationships to, why this person plays football, or, I can teach you this, I can teach you that at an early age. At an early stage, and OTAs and stuff like that, and building that relationship heading into training camp, heading into the summer. And I think that's what makes this place so special. I think that's what makes the people so special, that the athletes get to come in here early and, build those type of relationships.
That is Texans defensive end Will Anderson Jr. on the importance of voluntary workouts. Now, he is only going into his 2nd year. Micah, obviously, going into his 4th year. 2 different parts of their actual NFL careers. And maybe by his 4th year, Will Anderson will feel different about voluntary workouts. But it seems the Texans have been very, very bullish on the type of people that they want to bring into the building. And he talks about bringing in new people, whether that's Danielle Hunter, Joe Mixon, getting everybody on the same page. The other thing is the Cowboys haven't really brought anybody new. Eric Kendricks. That's the only name that is new outside of the building. That is the only new relationship they have to build. Unless you're talking about their defensive coordinator and the defensive scheme and everything else that is changing on Micah's side of the ball potentially. It's just going to be very interesting to kind of see how that plays out moving forward. Fred Robert Harris Jr. says BS from Micah. He goes on to say on our YouTube live that Micah is another selfish player and all he cares about is his pocket.
This is SportsCenter.
Toluca, the NBA play-in tournament underway in the West. Pelicans and Lakers in the 7-8 game, and the winner go home 9-10 matchup between the Warriors and Kings coming later on tonight. LA and New Orleans battling to secure a spot in the first round. Opponent for the winner, defending champ Denver Nuggets. New Orleans leads early, 31-26, 58 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Zion Williamson has come to play tonight. 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting to go with 4 rebounds. Anthony Davis has 5 points for the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell, a team-high 13 on 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown. Meanwhile, in the NFL, a couple of contract extensions coming for top draft picks. Devontae Smith getting paid by the Eagles. How about his college quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, up for an extension this offseason?